Have you ever seen someone completely destroyed in court? When I was a teenager, my parents went through a nasty divorce. My mom had met someone else and left my dad, taking my brothers and me with her across the country. We all wanted to stay with my dad, but she promised us it was temporary and that we'd see him soon. Before she left, her parting words were, "I can't wait to finally be free of you." When the custody hearing came around, we were hopeful that things would go in our dad's favor. He'd always been the one who held everything together, steady, reliable, and kind. But when the judge asked my mom about her position, everything took a dark turn. She launched into a tirade of false accusations, calling my dad abusive, an alcoholic, and a danger to us. She even brought in photos of bruises and claimed they were from him. They weren't. The photos were old, and her story didn't make sense, but her lawyer had prepared her well. She cried, described being terrified for her life, and claimed that she stayed silent out of fear he'd kill her if she reported anything. My dad's lawyer wasn't prepared for this. None of us were. He tried to defend my dad, but without evidence to counter her claims, it didn't matter. The ruling came down, full custody to my mom. My dad was ordered to give her half of everything. The house, his savings, his retirement. She even got spousal support despite already living with her new boyfriend. I'll never forget the look on my dad's face when the verdict was read. He sat there, stunned, as if the air had been knocked out of him. After court, my mom walked out with her lawyer, laughing and smiling as though she just won a lottery. My dad, he sat alone on a bench, staring at the ground, barely holding himself together. That night, I went to his apartment to check on him. He was hollow, barely speaking, just sitting there in the dark. The next day at school, I was eating lunch when a teacher came to get me. My grandpa was waiting in the office with a police officer. They told me to grab my things. When we got to the car, I saw my brothers were already there. We picked up my youngest brother from kindergarten, my mom had forgotten him, and drove to my grandpa's house. When we got there, he sat us down. His voice cracked as he told us that our dad was gone. He'd taken his own life the night before, just hours after I'd left his apartment. It didn't stop there. Because the divorce wasn't finalized, my mom inherited everything. The house, his retirement, even his life insurance. She moved across the country with her new boyfriend, leaving us with our grandpa. He raised us after that, sacrificing his golden years to give us some semblance of stability. To this day, my mom tells people she's a single mom who worked hard to raise 3 kids alone. She leaves out the part where she abandoned us and the role she played in breaking our dad.